So it was a 3-0 victory for Ireland at the Aviva Stadium against Gibraltar. Evan Ferguson, Mikey Johnson, and Adam Enda with his first international goal for the Republic of Ireland give Stephen Kenny a must-needed win in the Euro 2024 qualifiers. Gav, the atmosphere was a little bit dead in Aviva. There was a Mexican wave going there. What's the atmosphere now post-match that Ireland have come away with 3 goals?
And I'd say no one was more glad to see a Mexican wave than Stephen Kenny because it meant the game was finally settled. First half atmosphere wasn't great. Ireland, likewise, weren't great. They were booed off at half time. Stephen Kenny's name was sung for the first time in the 86th minute, and it was sung with a lot less vigor and by a lot fewer people than it usually does. But look, the whole point of tonight was not to make things any worse, and that's ultimately what they did.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, they didn't make things worse. Sorry.
Well, that was the key point, and I guess there was frustration in the first half because of the way things were going. But at the end of the day, when you look at the 3-0 win now, you look at the breakthroughs in the second half. Like, Ireland probably couldn't have played much better except for being more decisive in the final third, which, to Kenny's credit, he was criticised during the week for not acting quick enough when things weren't going well. He did make the substitute, switch to a back 4 at halftime, brought Mikey Johnson on, and Mikey Johnson changed the game, essentially got the first goal and was so much more positive than having a third defender in Nathan Collins, who was playing the Trent Alexander-Arnold role for Ireland tonight.
Yeah, but Collins probably wasn't stepping up enough. It was, we did think beforehand, it's just like, do we really need 3 centre backs against Gibraltar? And then I thought maybe he would. I was sure that Johnson would play, so it was very unusual that he didn't, because Ireland didn't have anyone capable of skipping by their man, getting to the byline, and just putting the ball back. And that was the plan for Ireland, but they left Johnson on the bench, the player with the individual quality to do that, and instead they tried to do that through their system and through the way they set up. So it was just like go wide and link. The wing backs would link with the 2 number 10. So McGrath with McLean off the left and Smallbone with Knight off the right. It's not a bad idea, but Ireland just did it so slowly. They really struggled to open the pitch up and get to the byline, and they had nobody in midfield to kind of quickly switch the play. Cullen basically doesn't have that passing range. He's at a bad window here for Ireland, Cullen. He's much better in second half when Ireland changed the system. In the first half, they were poor. So everything was so slow. They were just kind of shuffling the ball really slowly from side to side. And it was really dull. And as a result, they didn't really create much. Jamie McGrath had 2 shots, one after 30 seconds and then one late in the first half. But then everything was just simplified. I mean, Collins came off, Johnston came on, they went 4-3-3, and everyone just looked a lot more comfortable. Johnston got the first goal, couldn't miss after, 7 minutes after coming on. And then, straightforward second goal where Ferguson heads into the back post from McLean's cross. And then the third goal, Enda, great moment for him to get his first Irish goal for McLean's cross as well. So the 4-3-3 just looked, everything was just more simplified. And Ireland was just basically, look, these guys aren't attacking. Let's just throw on another attacker for a defender. And it works. Ireland haven't played a back 4 in about 2 years. I think the Andorra game was the last time that they did that. But Ferguson, he's a bit of a game changer. Like, his hold-up play is good enough for him to just lead the line by himself. And you can see how much more involved he was when Ireland went to 4-3-3. Okay, make allowances for Gibraltar are no good and they were getting tired and so forth. But in fairness, it was weird that Johnson didn't start, and a lot of people had kind of called for back 4 beforehand. At least the game didn't end wondering what might have been had that change not been made, because had that change been made, should I say, because obviously it wasn't.
Yeah, geez, the football gods really threw us a bone with Evan Ferguson. And you saw when we moved to a 4-3-3, and a lot of the talk has been evolution and change under Stephen Kenny, but without throwing the baby out with the bathwater and changing everything and going back to lump ball, you saw that maybe returning to the basics of 4-3-3, a good front man up front and 2 good wingers out wide going at the defense, a much more direct approach actually does suit these Irish players, as opposed to the 3-5-3 or 3-5-2 rather, and building up slowly. They don't seem to be able to find the final pass when they have too much time to think about it.
Yeah, Ferguson is the game changer. He just makes everything so much more easier up front, because previously, a lot of that's what Kenny wanted to play when he started, and he had McGoldrick, and kind of that made it slightly possible, even though Ireland were still being sliced open on the counter-attack. Look, that might still happen against better teams, so maybe we won't see the system again against anyone other than Gibraltar. But it's just like in the first half, it felt like there was a system in place that was almost compensating for a lack of specific qualities of a specific profile of player. i.e. a winger who can beat his man. But Ireland had that. They just didn't play him, which is a really weird decision in Johnston. But obviously they made the right decision. Everything was just more simplified. Players just, it was just like they were so loyal to the kind of the game plan of the first half. It was almost like they were occasionally maybe going against instinct and playing. This is the way that we've been asked to play, and the coaches have put a load of work into it, and this is how we'll play. Yeah, like I say, just they went back to something more natural, more straightforward in a 4-3-3. And players made a big impact. Obviously, Johnston, Troy Parrott was really good when he came on. He's suited to that type of game, I think. His touch is better in tighter positions than Obafemi. He's a smart player. Like, he'll pick the right passes and make the right runs. And then it was great, obviously, for Enda to get his goal. So yeah, no, obviously a night that didn't make things any worse, which was the operation of the exercise.
Well, that's the key thing. Just finally, before you go, we don't want to get carried away. It is Gibraltar at home. The result did go our way in France tonight. They beat Greece 1-0. Greece had a man sent off. But the word shambolic was the key word that was thrown around after the Greece game. What is the key word that's going to be mentioned in tonight's press conference?
Oh, just few. I mean, that they didn't mess it up. But the problem is, like, unfortunately, Gibraltar is so rubbish that this kind of proves nothing. The damage was done on Friday, and Ireland will spend the rest of the qualifying campaign trying to salvage that damage made on Friday. But they're playing opponents of such level in France, Netherlands, and Greece at home that they're going to find it very difficult to do that.
Yeah, big time. Gavin, thanks very much.
Cheers, pal.